Welcome to Islam with Aslan, your home for inspiring and informative journeys into the rich history of Islam. Today we explore a fascinating and lesser-known chapter of Islamic history, the story of Islam in Japan. Stay with us as we uncover the milestones, the personalities, and the quiet yet resilient growth of Islam in the land of the rising sun. While Japan is often associated with Shintoism, Buddhism, and a long tradition of cultural insularity, the story of Islam here begins much later than in many other parts of the world. There is no evidence that Islam reached Japan during the classical Islamic period, unlike in places like India or China. However, the seeds of Islam were planted in Japan during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The earliest recorded interactions between Japanese nationals and Muslims occurred during the Meiji era, which lasted from 1868 to 1912. This was a period when Japan was rapidly modernizing and looking outward, ending centuries of national seclusion. As Japanese officials, scholars, and merchants traveled abroad, especially to the Ottoman Empire and other Muslim-majority regions, they began to encounter Islam firsthand. One of the most significant early figures in this narrative was a Japanese adventurer and writer named Yamada Torajirō. In the 1890s, Yamada traveled extensively through the Ottoman Empire. He developed a deep admiration for Muslim culture and civilization, and he maintained correspondence with Sultan Abdul-Hamid II. Though Yamada did not convert to Islam, his efforts to build bridges between Japan and the Muslim world were pioneering. Another key development occurred in the early 20th century with the arrival of Tatar Muslims fleeing persecution in Russia following the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. Many of these Tatars, who were Turkic Muslims from the Volga region, found refuge in Japan, particularly in cities like Kobe and Tokyo. They played a vital role in laying the foundations for Japan's first Muslim communities. Among them was Abdul-Rashid Ibrahim, a Tatar scholar and religious leader who had already traveled across the Muslim world and met prominent Islamic scholars. He arrived in Japan around 1909 and is widely considered one of the first individuals to spread Islamic teachings in the country. He even met with Japanese officials and tried to explain the core principles of Islam. His missionary work laid the groundwork for future conversions and Muslim awareness in Japan. In 1935, one of the most significant events in the early history of Islam in Japan took place: the establishment of the Kobe Mosque. This was the first mosque built in Japan, funded largely by the Tatar Muslim community and donations from other Muslim nations. Located in the port city of Kobe, this mosque served both as a place of worship and a symbol of Islamic presence in Japan. Just 2 years later, in 1938, the Tokyo Mosque, now known as Tokyo Camii, was built by the Tatar Muslims in the capital city. This mosque, which was rebuilt in 2000 with assistance from the Turkish government, remains one of the largest and most prominent mosques in Japan today. During the period leading up to and including World War II, Japan's government took an unusual interest in Islam. Hoping to strengthen political and military ties with Muslim-majority nations, Japanese officials promoted research into Islamic culture and languages. They even published Quranic translations and Islamic texts in Japanese. While some of these efforts were strategic and political, they inadvertently contributed to a broader awareness of Islam within Japan. The post-war period saw major shifts. Japan's defeat in World War II and the subsequent American occupation changed the social and political landscape. During this time, most of the early Muslim communities faced hardship. Many of the Tatar Muslims eventually migrated to other countries or assimilated, and Islam's presence became quieter once more. However, from the 1970s onward, a new chapter began. Japan's economic boom attracted a new wave of immigrants and students from Muslim countries such as Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iran, and various Arab nations. These individuals came for education, employment, and trade, and with them came a revival of Islamic life. Universities in cities like Tokyo and Kyoto began to see Muslim student populations grow. Islamic student associations were formed, and Friday prayers began to be organized in dormitories and rented halls. With this resurgence, the number of mosques and Islamic centers began to grow across the country. Today, there are over 100 mosques in Japan, and the number continues to rise. Some of the notable mosques include the Nagoya Mosque, Fukuoka Mosque, and Osaka Ibaraki Mosque. These centers not only serve as places of worship, but also act as cultural hubs, offering language classes, interfaith dialogues, and support services for both Muslims and curious Japanese locals. As for the number of Muslims in Japan, estimates vary widely due to the absence of official religious statistics. However, as of the early 2000s and 20s, it is believed that the Muslim population in Japan ranges from 100,000 to 200,000. A significant portion of these are foreign nationals, but the number of Japanese converts has been steadily increasing. Some estimates suggest there are now over 10,000 ethnic Japanese Muslims. The reasons for conversion are diverse. Some Japanese individuals encounter Islam through marriage, travel, or academic study. Others are drawn by the spiritual clarity, discipline, and universal message of Islam. Many converts have shared their journeys publicly, adding to the visibility and acceptance of Islam in Japanese society. A notable contemporary figure is Ko Nakata, a former professor of Islamic studies at Doshisha University, who converted to Islam and has been an active voice in promoting understanding between Muslims and the wider Japanese public. His work includes lectures, writings, and public appearances aimed at dispelling misconceptions and fostering intercultural harmony. Despite being a minority, Muslims in Japan generally enjoy the freedom to practice their faith. Halal food options are increasing, prayer spaces are being installed in airports and shopping malls, and interfaith events are becoming more common. In recent years, Japanese authorities have even made efforts to cater to Muslim tourists, especially from Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Of course, challenges remain. As in many parts of the world, Muslims in Japan sometimes face stereotypes or cultural misunderstandings. Yet the overall trend is one of gradual integration and growing awareness. The story of Islam in Japan is not one of mass conversion or sweeping change, but of steady, resilient growth rooted in mutual respect and quiet perseverance. It is a story of immigrants and seekers, of scholars and workers, of old mosques and new communities. It is a testament to Islam's global reach and its ability to take root in even the most unexpected corners of the world. And with that, we come to the end of our journey through the history of Islam in Japan. If you found this story enlightening, be sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to Islam with Aslan for more engaging and eye-opening explorations of Islamic history around the world. Until next time, peace be upon you.